Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with something different, I guess. So, you know the running joke. Every man thinks about the Holy Roman Empire at least once a day. And I was going to say that's not true for me, but that is also true for me. But there is something that I think about even more than the Holy Roman Empire, and that is samurai. Samurai to me have always been and will always be the coolest military force that has ever existed on this planet. I love them from the bottom of my heart. I think they're absolutely incredible. From their aesthetic to the way of life to the way they fight, everything just inspires me. So when this month's video came around for Eldritch Foundry and I was creating a character, usually I go through the whole process, I design the whole thing, and I try and make a character fit in my mind and all that kind of stuff. But I was just kind of scrolling through the presets of armor, and there was just a full set of samurai armor appeared on top of the miniature, and I was immediately sold. I just was so excited. I've had it in my brain to paint something samurai for so long that this was just everything that I wanted to do. So I selected that, and I thought to myself, how am I going to make this a little bit different to other things? I seen the option to mount him on a horse. Beautiful, a mounted samurai miniature. So I got all those bits and pieces together, got it printed out. I'm gonna paint it here in today's video. As for the color scheme, I have no idea. Gonna have some fun and see if I can pick out a unique color scheme. I had this idea of trying to do the cherry blossom style colors throughout the samurai, so maybe white horse, pinkish armor and stuff like that, and just genuinely have a good time painting a miniature. It doesn't have to be for any specific reason other than the love of creating models. So that's what today's video is all about. So hopefully by the end of this, I have a really nice samurai miniature that I'm super proud of and I get to put on my shelf and look at to make me smile all the time. Hope you guys are looking forward to seeing how this thing turns out. Okay, so once again, we find ourselves on the Eldritch Foundry website, and as it was, like I said at the beginning of this video, scrolling through, I was going to choose an elf, and I started to click through some of the different options. And I was going to start with his clothing and then realized these full pre-made sets already designed for you. And I was like, oh, let me just have a quick look at this. I fell in love with this one. This is an incredible suit of armor. And as you can see, I did actually have a thought process of perhaps I will do this. Then I saw this and I was like, oh my word, this is just beautiful. I love it so much. And my brain just, you know what, sometimes your brain like decides you're doing something. I know your brain decides everything you do and it's a silly thing to say, but it's like all thought process was gone. My brain was like, this is what you're doing today. You are going to paint this miniature and you're going to have a great time doing it. And I was like, all right, brain, you're in charge. Let's do this. So I finished off the design process, gave him his katana. What good samurai warrior is going to go to battle without his katana? And then I noticed some mounts, and then I noticed him as a horse option and clicked on that. And as soon as he went onto this, I was like, this is majestic. I love this so much. Yes, print. So this is the file that I got off of Eldritch Foundry. If you don't know how Eldritch Foundry works, there's thousands and thousands of different options for hats, armor, clothes, different, like you're going to be like an amputee if you want to be later in a campaign, you've taken an injury. You can be like half a mermaid or half a tornado, or you can be sci-fi, you can be fantasy, you can be mounted. There's so many different options to change everything, all the posing. So if you're doing a miniature agnostic game system, or whether you're doing D&D or whether you're doing anything like that, this is a great website for getting your miniatures from. You design the whole things, and then there's a bunch of different ways from which you can purchase them. You can either spend an amount of money and actually have them print the miniature out for you and ship it to your door, which I think is really cool for people who don't have access to 3D printers. Or if you do have access to 3D printers, you can pay $5 and you get the STL file for that, and then you can do it. Or there is a monthly subscription, which you can sign up to and then make as many miniatures as you want and print them out and paint them up. So if you're a DM, you want to make a lot of monsters, a lot of characters, a lot of NPCs, all that kind of stuff, I think the monthly one is probably for you. If you're a person like me who is probably only going to make a new character, you know, for every new campaign, then perhaps just the $5 for the STL files for you. Whatever it is, check them out, linked down in the description below. Eldritch Foundry, very cool guys. Thank you very much for supporting the channel as always with your sponsored videos. So now that the model is printed out, I've got it settled onto a base. I now need to decide how I'm going to paint the thing. And like I said at the beginning, I have this idea in my head of trying to incorporate the cherry blossom. Obviously, cherry blossom and samurai are like intertwined. It's a very spiritual and very personal thing between those two. I'm not going to go into a lot because I don't understand it as much as I wish I did. I don't want to offend or anything like that. So yeah, originally I was just going to try and find some nice cherry blossom, like bonsai tree style pieces for the base, and then have him as a traditional looking samurai. But then I was going to go the whole route of like the Last Samurai style red lacquered armor, but I was like, I've been painting so much red lately on the channel that I decided it'd probably be best if I switch out and do a different color on the armor. And then my brain was kind of churning through which armor color I was going to do, and then I saw the pink. I was like, maybe the model can represent like the cherry blossom style. So he's going to be on a kind of like a white pale horse. It's going to be more like a dark, like a bright gray horse than like a pure white stallion. And then he's going to have like pink armor. And then I'm going to go for like almost like bone colored, like a tanny cloth. Not tan, not bone. Like a khaki style cloth between his armor segments. Nice dark rich brown for all the leathers on the like the saddle and straps and stuff like that. And I'm just going to go through that process and see if this model is going to look nice at the end, or whether it's not. Obviously, for me, who paints so much Warhammer stuff, painting anything that's outside that genre can be a little bit trickier for me because I'm so used to the aesthetic and the style of those miniatures, the heroic scale, the bigger weapons, bigger hands, kind of easier posed. I find them a lot easier to paint. And sometimes when I'm painting something that's a lot more natural, although it's a beautiful miniature, I do struggle a little bit. So I take a little bit of time. I get a bit more worried in the ugly stage as to whether or not I'm going to be able to pull this model back, or whether I'm just going to be ruining this thing. And I do get to a period in this where I start layering up the pink armor, where I'm like, did I make a huge mistake here? I don't know. I'm getting a little bit worried, but I think I pulled it through at the end. By the time this model is being shown off the end of this video, I'm quite proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool. And I hope you guys are as excited to see that as I am. I think there's definitely some sort of samurai style game or army or something in my future. Like I just like this did not satisfy all my like samurai wants and needs. There's definitely something out there that I want. Maybe it's a cyberpunk gang going in with that kind of style and aesthetic. I know they exist. I don't know, something. I don't know whether it's a historical army. I don't know whether I want to paint, 300 odd samurai miniatures. That might be a little bit more than I want, but some sort of in-betweenish style thing, some sort of skirmished game. Yeah, I think Blackside Studio is actually working on something. Maybe I'll have a look at those. If you guys know of any samurai-esque skirmish style game systems out there that you think I might enjoy and you want to share, please do put it down in the comments below. I'd love to check them all out and see if there's anything else out there for me. I'd love to explore more kind of Japanese / samurai style miniature games. So obviously we're leaning heavily once again into the Two Thin Coats range of paints. Two Thin Coats are a big one for me. I do thoroughly enjoy using them. And you'll notice whenever I'm not painting something for Games Workshop, I tend to reach for the Two Thin Coats range because it's a range of paints that I trust. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoy using. So I'm going through their traditional pink triad scheme. So you can go check those out for yourself. I love following the triads, they're great. If you haven't tried any of the Two Thin Coats range of paints, the way I suggest people dip their toe in is with the triads. So the way the triads work is they've already broken down and set up the paints in threes. So you have a base coat, a mid-tone, and a highlight. Those are the three colors you need for anything. So for instance, with these pinks, as you've seen, I'm going to start with the mid-tone. I did start with a contrast at the beginning. That's just to get my base colors down. You don't need that if you're going to be doing the true triad. If you want to check it out, you live here in Ireland, Air Hobbies is the current supplier of all Two Thin Coats range of paints. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, so again, nothing for you going there and purchase them. I just wanted to make you aware that they are now readily available from an Irish stockist. If you want to buy them in places like England, obviously their actual website, but then there's things like Element Games, where you can buy them from. Now, I do actually have an affiliate link with Element Games, which is down in the description below if you want to purchase any of your Warhammer orders or any of your other bits and pieces. And you do tend to shop with Element Games to save yourself some money. There's an affiliate link down there from me. If you use that affiliate link and purchase some stuff, I get a nice little kickback, just an extra few pounds in the pocket of Mediocre Hobbies to help us grow bigger and strong, and it costs you not a cent more. So I think it's a pretty good deal. But yeah, like I said, I have wave 1 and wave 2 of Two Thin Coats already. I'm anxiously awaiting the arrival of wave 3 so I can get stuck into those paints as well and see what they're bringing to the range. Had a good long chat with the guys when I was at GriffCon a couple of weeks ago. Super nice guys, and yeah, they actually turned out they liked me quite a lot because I like their paints a lot and I talk about them a lot. They don't pay me at all to say these nice things, but I really enjoy the paints. So going in now with the ivory tusk paint, and I'm going to start layering up the horse. Now, this isn't a horse painting video. Well, it's not really a samurai painting video, to be honest, but it's just a bit of fun with the concept of just, going with your gut and painting something that you want to paint and doing something that you want to do will lead you to kind of better results. So, yeah. So I got an ivory tusk coat on that, and I thought the horse was just a little bit too pale. So I'm going to darken it down with Soulblight Grey. Soulblight Grey is an amazing shade that a lot of people forget existed, because it came out the last time Games Workshop did a kind of a bumper set of paints when they brought out about 50 new paints. They bolstered the contrast range, which took everybody's attention away. Everyone just focused on those, but they actually came out with like a half dozen new shades or more. And a lot of them I find really good. Berserker Bloodshade, all those shades came out around that time. And this Soulblight Grey appeared there too, which is like an off-white shade, which I've actually found more use for than I thought I was going to. Going in now and highlighting up, like I said, those tanned areas or khaki areas in between the armor, just trying to help break up all of the pink. I have accidentally highlighted up his like ribbon around his waist, which of course is should have been this tan color too. So I go in and fix this while I'm doing this section here, and like I'll break up the mid part of the miniature. Boar hide was used, and like I said, I wanted to give the leather a nice rich warmth to it. Like, once again, it's that whole thing with the like samurai culture, the idea of perfection. They didn't half-ass anything. Even like how they would have tanned their leather and how the kind of saddles they would have had, and every piece of equipment they would have had would have been like immaculately maintained and manufactured. So I like the idea of everything having that like feeling of quality to it, and that's why I went for that like warmer tones with the leathers. Even going so far with the rune fan, going for a slightly brighter silver to highlight the gold. The craftsmanship would have been there. Now the next step is the only bit that I think I let myself down on, and I realized that as I'm doing it, I definitely need to make a video on it, and the video is not so much a like how to, it's a me discovering it. So obviously I'm a Caucasian male, so whenever I think of painting skin, I grab Caucasian colors. It's just my natural instinct to grab those, which obviously means that I've painted this poor samurai in Caucasian tones. And honestly, I wouldn't know where to begin to paint more Asian style skin or tones. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to learn. I think I'm gonna have to go through and do a video, which I think would be super interesting, like the ultimate guide to painting skin and going through a bunch of different like black skin and Caucasian skin and like orient, like just all those different skin tones and colors and stuff. Hopefully I didn't use any of the wrong words or terminology there to describe people. I'm just not very good at that kind of thing. Just to get it right in the future and just go forward and have the proper tones for the proper people. After this, I just added a bunch of grass tufts to the base and had the miniature finished off. I'm using my hand to frame him because the black is just kind of drawing out all the color. The camera doesn't like it. Whereas when I have my hand in front of it, it tends to pull the correct tone. And this is my finished mounted samurai miniature that didn't exist yesterday. I designed and sculpted it from Eldritch Foundry. Got it printed out and yeah, got it painted up. And after that process, I now have this beautiful little thing which will sit on the shelf with the rest of my stuff from Eldritch Foundry and Dragon Trappers and all those other companies I make videos for. It's just this really nice thing. I love it. I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this random video. It was a bit of fun for me, and I hope it was a bit of fun for you too. Thank you very much. Well guys, there we have it. My finished mounted samurai cherry blossom styled miniature. I think he turned out awesome. I think he's a lot of fun to do. And yeah, I finally got the samurai. I don't know if the itch is gone. I think I still need to paint some more samurai stuff. I wonder what that looks like moving forward, but that's something we'll have to look into. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to check out Eldritch Foundry for yourself, like I said in the video, they are linked down below. There's a bunch of different ways to support them, check them out, or get access to their files and miniatures. try and find something that suits you, and then move forward with that. If you enjoyed this video, please do the 3 things that you should do for every creator if you watch and enjoy their content. Make sure you like their videos. It costs you absolutely nothing. Make sure that you comment on the video if you have something to say. If you have a question and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to bother asking it, please do ask it. Not only will a lot of the time we'll get back to you and give you the answer to the question, but also that's another engagement on the videos that I pushed it out to more people, makes our videos more successful, and makes us better. So hopefully you can do that. And then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Once again, it costs you nothing except tweaking the algorithm and giving you more content that's like ours, but it means an awful lot to us. So if you do those 3 things, that would be incredible. If you want to support the channel even more, you can obviously become a YouTube channel member, or you can join over on the Patreon. Those are the 2 most important ways. The Patreon is the most important way to support the channel. It's what literally keeps the lights on and the cameras rolling. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys in the next video.